back, I think we might be able to just flip it on and with the jacket over. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we don't have to go through the lugs.
That's okay.
If we could just kind of go here, then maybe let's go our... Nice lighting. Nice bright.
Yeah, it is
I
good.
think you could just kind of like just up from the back.
Oh, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
I'm
Got
thinking
it.
that we could actually do that today.
All right, let's see. Sorry if my hand is cold.
No. Let's see what happens.
I think that's okay.
Let's see what happens. Yes, please. Thank you. Maybe that works. Maybe it doesn't.
Neither of these are the one. Like, the right one is in the other one.
Do you want to go check the other one really quickly?
Okay.
I'll be back in a second.
Okay, can you please tell me what you had for breakfast so he can check your audio?
I had absolutely nothing for breakfast. How does that sound?
That sounds good, he says.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks. I think she's going to come back through this
Yes.
door in about 30 seconds. Ooh, are you okay?
Yeah, it's very heavy. Good? Yep. I don't know why those monitors are.
No, all good.
Okay?
Yeah.
Great. Our sound is good, so we're rolling
We
and we're
are.
ready to go. Okay.
Okay, so, wow, you have, especially since the last time I saw you, a lot of exciting things to talk about.
A lot of exciting
The
things.
first thing I want to ask about is the residency.
Yes.
That must be like, I almost feel like everything in your life and your career has like led up to that moment, and it's like couldn't be a better venue. But you tell me how you're feeling.
I agree with you, by the way. Okay, so I've always thought of wanting to have a Vegas residency. And when it happened, I had come out of such a period of darkness and like struggle, legal, personal, divorce, all of these things at one time, that when I got the offer, I was stunned. And okay, so the show opens in 3 weeks. I'm nervous, I'm excited, and you're right, like everything has led to this moment. And it could not be, you know, if I think about a year ago and just how kind of hopeless it was, and just thinking about, hey, am I ever going to get out from underneath all of these problems? And there's still some residual stuff lingering around and litigation, but definitely a much better place than a year ago. And yes, it's all led to this spot, this one show, Bet It All on Blonde.
And tell me, I know from watching Beverly Hills that you are very involved in the choreography. You're into fashion and
Sure.
costumes.
Yeah, costumes.
How this must be a lot for you, because there's all of that, and it has to like all be, you know, Vegas style. So tell me about that process and how involved you are in the collaboration.
Okay, I'm involved, just like I was from the beginning of my shows, even now, costumes, music, choreography. When it's your show, it's your name, and you want it to be the best you can. And number two, I love all those things. I've always done them. It's a lot to do, but it's the good kind of things, you know, it's pressure, but it's the good kind of pressure. And you also have to remember, you're performing, which is a lot of fun. It's the thing I love to do the most. So on days where either I'm tired or frustrated or, you know, something like that, I also have to remind myself, hey, Erika, you know what? You're getting to do the thing you love the most, which is put on shows in a town that is nothing but shows. And the perfect place for what I do, which is, you know, glitz, glamour, fun, fantasy, love, and escape. It couldn't be more tailor-made for Erika Jayne. So I have to remember that. You know, it's a great place to be.
Absolutely. It made so much sense when I heard that. What about when you're putting it together, because you have a lot of different songs and you're making a choice, and I'm sure it's a journey being in the show. What's the message that you want to get across, or a theme or something that you sort of...
So I founded Erika Jayne on 3 words: fantasy, love, escape. And then I added glitz, glamour, and fun like 2 or 3 years into the project. So Benadryl en Blonde is based around those 6 words. We start out strong, we'll slow it down a bit, and we'll end back up. The show is in 6 acts. And it's a journey. And at the end, it's a good old party. You know, it's a big party at the end and a celebration, really.
And there's been a lot of people that have done residencies. Have you gotten advice from anyone? Because I'm sure there is a lot of endurance that it requires.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's a 90-minute show, 2 days a week, Fridays and Saturdays at House of Blues, Mandalay Bay. But when I was doing Broadway, that was 8 shows a week with 1 day off. That is a brutal schedule. This is different pressure because it is your name and it's all on you. I have not spoken with anyone that has had a Vegas residency. Probably should, but I haven't. Yeah, it requires a whole different mindset for sure. And it's total attention. You need to be totally engaged and totally involved.
I totally forgot. I didn't realize that it was only 2 days a week. What would you ever do Broadway again?
Yeah, Barry Weisler from Chicago just called me. I owe him a phone call. Yeah, I mean, I would. I think in the right circumstance, limited run, something like that. I think that Broadway is perfect when you're a performer. You know, there's nothing like singing with an orchestra, you know, performing in a Broadway theater. It's a real hallmark of someone's career, to me, anyway.
For sure. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Housewives.
Let's
You're
do it.
shooting right now.
We're wrapped.
Oh, you're wrapped.
We're
okay,
wrapped.
So what, is there anything you can tell me?
Yeah, I can tell you a few things. Number one, I actually had a nice time. It was not as brutal as it has been for the last couple of years for me. It was a nice sort of break from the constant defending myself, which felt nice. I got to breathe a little bit. With Lisa having been gone, the show changes and you get a new player in, Anna Marie Wiley. It's okay to say her. Andy said it was okay. And so the show goes on and the show changes depending upon cast and what's going on in people's personal lives or what's not going on. And I was just really happy, and I got the news of the residency during filming of the show. So it just made it all the more, it was a delight. It was good. I didn't dread going, you know, to shoot every day, which was a welcomed experience, to be quite honest.
And do you take some fabulous trips and go to fabulous parties per usual?
We went to some good parties, and we went to Spain this year for our cast trip, which was nice. It was really pretty. I'd never been.
And there's been a lot of scuttlebutt about Kyle and her marriage. Is there anything that you could say about that?
What I can say is I've spoken to Kyle about it. She's going to be able to explain what's going on in her marriage this season. I'm going to leave it there. I had so many people speculating about what was going on with me and filling in the blanks. I don't want to do that to her. She's a grown woman and she can answer for herself. I'm a friend of hers and always will be. So that's kind of where I stand.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Bravo fans, as you know, are rabid.
They are, yeah.
Sometimes that can be really good and sometimes that can be bad. Where do you sort of fall on like negotiating that, and how do you quiet the noise when there is some?
David Foster, who was married to Yolanda Hadid at the time when I first went on the show, gave me some very good advice. He said, you don't buy into it either way. You don't buy into the good, you don't buy into the bad. Be yourself, be authentic, stay focused, do you, continue to make music and do all of your things, but when it's good, don't buy into it. When it's bad, don't buy into it. So basically take a neutral position. Okay, that's easier said than done. He's right, by the way, but it's a lot easier said than done. I think that at my lowest, I was very reactive and wanted people to listen to what I had to say more so than what blogs or fans were saying that didn't have all the information. Even the show at the time, it was just really very frustrating. And I definitely did not take David's advice. Yeah, and it's hard to it's hard. you know, these are our real lives. If I was playing a character and I was able to put that character away and go home, of course it would be a lot easier. But you're talking about your real life as entertainment. And it's very personal, your family, and it's hard to remain neutral in those times, for sure.
I do think you've remained authentic the whole time, which is probably why the fans, stuck
Thank you.
with you, I think.
Thanks.
Also, people are saying online things about you look great, you've lost
Thank
weight.
you.
People are talking about all different ways that that's happened.
Mhm.
Do you feel like you owe an explanation to how it happened? And,
I don't, and I'll tell you why. And I spoke about this with my therapist. We have a cast member on Beverly Hills that struggles with an eating disorder. And I made a comment at a Christmas party that got me in a lot of trouble. I took it up with my therapist, who said, look, you need to understand that when you say things like that, you trigger people. I had no idea. And because of that, I will tell you this. I went through menopause while I was going through all this other stuff. I gave up drinking, worked out, and you know what? I took it up with my doctor, changed up my hormones, and yes, I've lost a lot of weight and I feel good about it. But I don't want to be responsible for anyone else's triggering again, and that's where I am with that entire situation. You know, it's my body. Everyone's allowed to do what they want to with their health.
Right.
Yeah.
How is Tom doing, and do you talk to him?
Tom calls me a few times a week. We speak very briefly. Tom is always, it's always the same with Tom. He's always happy. Everything is always perfect, which you know it's not perfect. And what can I say? I mean, it sucks, but it is what it is. And it's not going to get any better.
Right. What, of all the things that you're doing now, and you are doing a lot of things, you're like bouncing around, what is the biggest challenge and what's the biggest joy?
The biggest challenge for me is to remain calm and to believe in myself that I got this and to keep going forward. It's almost like don't look down, just keep on going. And the biggest joy is I have a residency in Las Vegas. So while it's pressure, it's also a great joy to have. And things are moving forward. That's also a great joy. Things are starting to turn around and be less chaotic, and I'm really grateful for that. There's peace where there wasn't for a very long time.
That's great.
Yeah.
I feel like this Vegas residency seems like such a dream that you would have had,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're realizing this dream. So now do you have to kind of come up for new dreams for yourself and
Well, let's get through opening night. let's stay focused on the immediate goal. Yes, I think yes, absolutely. There will be a time to have some bigger dreams. Once we get through August 26th. August 25 we open. August 26th I can start dreaming again. Yes.
And talk to me about your fans, because I particularly your music fans. It feels like, I've already seen people online saying, I'm flying from,
Yeah, Europe, right, or Australia or something. How, first off, thank you for bringing that up, because what an honor to see that people would travel to come see me, which is something that, when I lived down the street in this apartment, right down here, I would think about, but now it's actually here. And that means a lot for someone to come yes, I know you're coming to Vegas, but you're also coming to the show. It means a lot. It's pretty unreal. It's a very special thing to have that happen. And the fans are great. I love those who the ones who were with me before Housewives. And now we have new music and we're in the show, and so there's more things to do. And the people who kind of stuck it out with me, I really appreciate that. Because everyone in life goes through things. I couldn't have predicted this, what happened to me and to everyone else involved. I didn't have this one down, you know, this was not on the list. But I'm grateful for those who stuck it out with me and maybe, you know, gain some new fans along the way.
I remember when things were so bad and you moved into the smaller house and you know, seemed so sad. And I wonder, like, you know, did you ever think that you would be where you are? And where do you think it comes from to get you there?
No, it was so dark and it was so depressing. And I literally was just trying to, you know, put one foot in front of the other. But I used to lay on my sofa and I had The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan doc, on 24 hours a day. And I would lay there looking for inspiration and looking for the will to fight and looking for the hope in this turning around. And I was constantly reading anything I could get my hands on to change my mindset because everything outside was so bad. There was nothing but bad news. And I knew that I had a choice. I could either, you know, quit, leave social media, and turn into a ball, you know, and just sort of huddle up and disappear. Or I could say, hold on a second. I know who I am. I know what I am. And none of this outside noise is going to deter me from rebuilding my life, right? So I would lay there and just watch this documentary on loop 24 hours a day, every episode, and just really look for the fight. I was like, I know that this fight lies somewhere within me. I know that this inspiration lies somewhere within me. And I would look at the documentary and just try to find inspiration there. The will to stick it out, gut it out, stay in the game, no matter what happened, your personal life. And these men, you know, they were on a quest for championships. And I felt like I was on the quest for championship too. You know, I felt like I was in it with them, like I was, you know, a team member, like, you know. And so, yeah, that's what I would do. I would just watch The Last Dance over and over and over and over.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
All the things. That is not one I would have picked for you.
And I was late, you know, I was late to the doc. I mean, it had come out, you know, before I was going through all this stuff, but I found it, you know, a friend of mine was like, okay, and I just started watching it and I was like, I can't, it was everything that I wanted, it was everything I wanted my thought process to be. It was everything how I wanted to feel psychologically at that time, which was drive, not, oh my goodness, I'm being defeated or I'm losing or this chaos. No, focus. And I think that, you know, Michael Jordan and the men around him have extreme focus. I know, kind of bizarre, right?
Funny.
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago, and I was like went to a lot of those games at that time. That was like my, you know, 20s or whatever, and that's
really cool.
A very exciting time. Okay, let me just. I wanted to ask you. Two more things. First of all, what are your thoughts on Bethany's new crusade to get like
union
equal pay and
to a union
treatment for?
I mean, look, reality people do a lot of work. We really do work hard and probably do need a union or some sort of renegotiation. Yeah, I understand exactly where she's coming from, 100%, yes.
Do you feel like, and you don't have to get specific, but like that there are things, like apparently there's all these people coming out of the woodwork now saying I was mistreated this way. Do you feel like there are, you know, that a lot more is going to come out and that could affect change?
I don't know. You know, ultimately it's going to come down to reality TV people and corporations and what they want to pay. I have no idea, but I'll definitely tell you this, we work very hard. But you know what, then also too, I have to be, let me also say this. Reality TV pulled me through, as much as I suffered on the show, I was still employed. And so I can't, do I think that there need to be adjustments? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Do I think that there need to be some things in place? Of course. But I also have to say that I had a job when nobody was going to give me a job. And I was on the job to get more jobs. So I can't knock it too hard. But yeah, things need to be, we need to have a conversation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
One thing that occurred to me when I was like doing my research for this is that you're kind of like the original Barbie. Everybody's all about Barbie now, but you were doing Barbie before Barbie came out, right?
Well, I just always like a certain kind of thing. It's funny, I didn't play with Barbies as a child, but I love fashion and I love being a girl. But this is persona and costume, and I've always looked at clothing as a costume and a personality, a kind of a role. Some days you're a Barbie, some days you may not be. Lord knows there are enough paparazzi pictures of me looking horrible. No Barbie that day, but yeah.
But I did love, that was one of the things I loved on the show, is like you took getting dressed very seriously. Like it was like an expression of a self-expression, like a creative expression.
It's an artistic expression, yeah.
I really appreciate that. I'm also super into costumes. Like I'm like a little bit of a costume nerd.
Yeah.
And so all of that, like I think that people don't appreciate like the thought that goes into it and, putting things together and color and all of that.
Thank you for saying that. And one of the greatest joys about having the Vegas show, it's like heaven. Just being able to really indulge your inner showgirl, like all of that. But you're right. And being on the Housewives, I mean, I look at the show as it's self-expression, okay, clothing, color, and it also lives forever. And your clothing or your costume, however you choose to say, is a self-extension. I mean, you can kind of tell a lot by people as to, what they're wearing or what they like. It says a lot about who you are as a person. And then some days I don't want to be that at all. I just would like to wear sweats and no makeup and things like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's who you are, but also where you are, like where you are, what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you can, put it on, and then other times you don't, and then that tells you something else.
That's right.
Okay, I think I got to everything. Was there anything else? Was there anything else about the show that I didn't talk about?
Which show?
I meant the residency.
You know what? Bet It All on Blonde, August 25th through the end of the year, Fridays and Saturdays. You got to come. I'm super proud. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm all of these, emotions. And I think it's going to be a great show. I know it's going to be a great show.
How, in terms of staying in shape, I mean, are you just like dancing and rehearsing, or do you have to like actually also do other things?
You have to do both. Ultimately, you rehearse and work out. There are some days that you're just too tired. I remember when I was doing Broadway and I thought, I'm going to wake up every morning and work out. Honey, so many shows in per week, you're like, maybe I'll do 50 sit-ups and that's it. But I have to do both for this one. You have to be strong. You have to have a lot of endurance. You have to be able to withstand anything that happens to you and injury prone or whatever. You need to strengthen all the places that are weak and get out there and kill it twice a week.
Totally. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's nice to see you. Thanks for having me in. Yeah, totally. All right. I think this is the easiest mic job ever. Thank you. Me too. I'm excited as well. It's a real dream come true, for sure.
And it is like, I mean, such a good venue.
It is a great venue. Made for sound, made for shows, specifically.
Thank you so much. That was great.
I know, it's so heavy. People think it's like,
That's how you get that good sound.